And with that ends very abruptly the randomly searched out royalty-free music I just threw on. Is that everything? It's telling me I need to do a quick ad break, otherwise it's going to throw an ad break randomly in at some point, so I'm just going to do that now to get out of the way. So see you on the other side of this. Hello everyone. Let me just double check I'm not muted. No, I'm not muted. Hello everybody and welcome to the Voices of Wrestling Quiz Night. As usual, we are ever so slightly delayed as, last week, I guess 2 weeks ago, a toilet broke. This week my computer decided it needed a Windows update, so, so always finds the perfect time for the delay, but we are here. This is the interactive wrestling quiz for wrestling nerds by a wrestling nerd. The questions are very hard, but if you think you're up to the task, then you can participate. Now, over the past episodes of this show, we've crowned a champion for an inaugural tournament. He had, I think, one successful title defense before Andrew Rich, our current champion, defeated him. Now, this week's episode is going to be his first title defense, and we found his challenger via the gauntlet that we did 2 weeks ago, which was won by Paul Walsh. So this week we're bringing to you a title match. Now, I should have said up front that while I will be trying to keep an eye on the Twitch chat, most of the conversation goes down in the Voice of Wrestling Discord for this show. So if you want to participate or, get in on the chatter, have me shout you out when you get an answer out, etc., etc., then you can go over to the Discord to do that. There's a link for the Discord, I believe, below the stream, or you can go to voiceofwrestling.com and click on the Discord on the top banner. That'll invite you to the Discord, and then you just need to go scroll down along the side, go to the VOW Podcast Network section. Within that, there's the VOW-quiz-night, and that's where all the cool kids hang out. All the fun discussion goes down. Mute my phone. That was on mute. That was it vibrating. And weirdly, I don't know how to turn it off vibrate. It's either has sound or it just has vibrate. So I'm just going to move it away a bit. Actually, I'm not going to move it away a bit because that's what I read the Discord on. So you'll just have to put up with it. Okay. So, this week we have ourselves a title match. It's going to be, as I mentioned previously, Paul Walsh, the winner of the gauntlet, taking on Andrew Rich. Now, if the two of you could join the voice channel, I will pull you in and we'll get going. Okay. Hello, Paul. Oh, that didn't work. Hello, Andrew. that also does not appear to have worked. Hello, Paul or Andrew? That's not promising.
Hey, can you hear me?
Aha, I can hear you, Paul.
I hear you, Paul. Can you hear me?
And I can hear Andrew.
Yeah,
There
I
we
can
go.
hear you.
There we go.
All right, we can't hear Robin.
Oh, you can't hear me.
That's less than ideal.
Yes.
Let me fiddle with some settings.
But I hope he can hear that we can't hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Oh, you
Now
can
we
hear
hear
me now.
Robin.
That's weird. I didn't change anything, but it just fixed itself. There we go. Technology. Who can figure it out? How are the both of you doing?
Good.
Yeah, pretty good. Ready to defend humanity against the robotic onslaught.
I am human after all, as Def Punk would say. Paul, please come on now.
Yeah, and what are Daft Punk but two robots from France?
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But
Okay, so we are having ourselves a best of 3. You've probably, if you've watched past episodes, you're familiar with the format, but we're going to have 3 separate rounds. Whoever wins 2 out of the 3 rounds wins, and wins the championship. If it is possible to tie rounds, and if we do end up with a tie overall, I do have a tiebreaker somewhere, but it may take me a while to find it. But I do have one prepared. It's just not written on the sheet, so hopefully it doesn't get there. I randomly generated a bunch of different topics to form the topic pool. As you can see on screen at the moment, we've got CMML, easy for me to say, CMLL, the Dragon System, the Noughties, Can-Am region, WWF, the 1980s in general, Michinoku Pro / Osaka Pro, the 20th Century New Japan, or the territories. And I gave each of our 2 participants this week a chance to ban, I think it was 2 topics each, wasn't it?
yes.
Yep.
So let's see what was banned. First up, Michinoku Pro / Osaka Pro was thrown out here. Which of you banned that one?
That was me. I got it last time. And I threw it out then too. So
it's persistent. It's real keen to pick you out. How in general, Andrew, were you feeling about the topic pool when it came up?
Not that hot. Some of them I know better, a lot better than others. Some of them I don't know at all, or I know some Michinoku Pro, but like only the big names. Same with like CMLL, like territories, 80s. That's kind of not my strongest suit, but like 2000s Can-Am, I think I could do pretty well in there. 20th Century New Japan, I think I could do pretty well there.
That's an ominous laugh.
I don't like that laugh. I don't like that laugh at all. But we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Next to be thrown out was WWF. I believe that was you, Paul?
Yep, that was me. And I think I also somewhat spoiled what my other pickout was. So basically my thinking behind the topics that I threw out was, I think there's some topics in here where both me and Andrew are similarly clueless, so it's more of a toss-up, so there's no reason to throw them out. So I decided to take 2 of the topics where I think Andrew just has, like, not that like WWF and like Naughty's like Can-Am are like big weaknesses for me, but I think Andrew is easily more knowledgeable in those 2 than I am. So I decided to just take out his strengths rather than take out my weaknesses, because I think our weaknesses are somewhat the same.
So basically, what you're saying is I took out my weaknesses, you took out my strengths. So
Yeah.
you're like a non-fact. You're a total non-factor here, I guess. Pretty much, this is all about me in this case.
No, I just kept in all of the ones that I'm strong at. So now it's a fair fight. I just took out the ones that you were going to win anyway.
Some tactical vetoing going on. And the last one to be thrown out was CMLL, because Andrew, not too hot on the Lucha, and if I'm honest, I'm glad, because I always struggle to write questions for them, because I know absolutely nothing about Lucha. So, thanks for that, Andrew.
You're welcome.
So we are left with the 1980s, the territories, and there's definitely going to be some overlap there. 20th Century New Japan, and finally Dragon System. So the first game type that we're going to be playing today is the hot tag. Now, we did one of these over in the gauntlet that we did 2 weeks ago. The way this one's going to work is I'm going to give one of you to start with a name of a wrestler. For example, I might give Paul Roman Reigns. And then Paul has to name a tag partner of his, which he won a tag team championship with, according to the ever trustworthy source of Wikipedia. So Paul, if I gave him Roman Reigns, might say Seth Rollins. And then it passes back over to Andrew, who has to name a partner of Seth Rollins that hasn't already been named, who he won the tag team championship with. So he couldn't go straight back to Roman Reigns, of course. So he might say Roman Reigns. He might say Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, who he won it briefly with. And then it would go back to Paul, and Paul would go, oh God, who's Braun Strowman won it with? And if he couldn't name anyone, then Andrew would win the point. But if he could name that Nicholas, yeah, you knew where I was going. I'd forgotten his name, which is a terrible example, but yes, if you could name Nicholas, of course, hadn't had another partner who he's won the tag team championship, at least to my knowledge. So that would give Andrew the win of the round. Does that all make sense to both of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tremendous. As the champion, I'm going to give you the championship advantage. Andrew, would you like to go first or second on this first one?
I'll go first, sure.
Okay, so the name I'm giving to you, as I scramble to open up his Wikipedia page and make sure not to do it on stream, is Tatsumi Fujinami.
Tatsumi Fujinami. Oh, this is probably should have gone second, I guess, but let me think. Fujinami win the tag team titles with. Wasn't him. I'm gonna say definitely wasn't that guy. Crap. Did he win it with Takashi Iizuka?
Ooh, it's a bit of a pull. Didn't sound too confident in that one. And unfortunately, he did not. So that's 1 point straight to Paul. Was a tricky one to start off with. I think many people would have gone into the Antonio Inoki route, but that would in fact not be correct. He never won a tag team championship with him, despite winning Tokyo Sports Tag Team of the Year. So that would have been a bit of a trap.
Did he win it with Choshu?
He did not win it with Choshu, according to Wikipedia.
Okay, so glad I didn't go first.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't Choshu because they were big rivals. Because I know they had a match at the Tokyo Dome. So that's when I did know that wasn't true. But who did he win it with?
So your options were Kengo Kaimura, who he won 5 different tag team championships with, Osamu Nishimura, or more recently with Mikami in DDT. Tricky one to start off with. Gets Paul straight on the board. If I can update the table, where is it? Name 1, name 2, score 1. Paul takes a 1-0 lead as we move into our second one, of which Paul will be going first. And the name you have to start with, Paul, is Robert Fuller, the Texas Stud.
Robert Fuller. Well, Ron Fuller.
Oh, sorry, no, Robert Fuller. Not the Texas Stud. Not the Texas Stud. My bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Throw myself off there.
Robert Fuller. Yeah. Did he win a title? Would they have won a title together? I'm gonna go with Dick Murdoch.
Dick Murdoch. Unfortunately not. We're back to a tied game. Andrew, how would you have done on that one?
My only guess would have been Ron Fuller.
You would have been correct. They won the NWA Southeastern Tag Team Championships together twice. Other options would have been Eddie Boulder, Joss Leduc, Bob Armstrong, Jimmy Golden, Kevin Sullivan, Toru Tanaka, Bill Dundee, Brian Lee, Jimmy Golden, I think I've already said him, or Don Morocco. So we are tied back up at one apiece. Some high quality quizzing going down.
I blame Paul. All right, this is not my fault.
What? Well, I wouldn't have thrown out the 80s anyway, so.
I think so this is the final one for this round, and I'm confident we're going to get a little further along than last time. Andrew, it's back to you to start on this one, and the name you have to start off for the hot tag is Ricochet.
Oh, well, Ricochet. So this is any in his career, right?
Correct.
Ryusuke Taguchi.
That would be the IWGP Junior. Surprisingly, when you type Ricochet into Wikipedia, doesn't come up with a wrestler. Who would have thought it? But yes, that is indeed the case. Tag team with Ryusuke Taguchi for the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships. Paul, back to you for Taguchi.
Let's play the safe. I'm gonna go with Prince Devitt.
Indeed correct for those same tag team titles. Why am I not allowed to click on Prince Devitt? Take me to his page. There we go. Yep, Prince Devitt. Back to Andrew.
Minoru Tanaka, but he was known as Minoru at this time. So.
He was indeed, and again the Junior Tag Team Championships, keeping it in a bit of a closed loop at the moment. Back to you, Paul.
Sorry, I missed that last one. My headphones just died.
Minoru, as in Minoru Tanaka, Heat.
Minoru Tanaka. Yeah. I'm thinking. Kotaro Suzuki.
Kotaro Suzuki. That would be in. Where would that be in? I feel like I have memory of that, but I'm not seeing it on the page.
That'd be Noah.
Kotaro.
I think they won the Noah Junior Tag titles, didn't they?
Wikipedia disagrees unless it hasn't updated. It says High 69 or what? How's that supposed to be pronounced? Is that
Hiroki?
It's supposed to be Hiroki.
But that is not Tanaka or Agawa. He's won the juniors with. So unfortunately, Paul, I think that is round. Let me just double check, because I also have a picture of him winning the tag team titles with Kotaro in my mind. So...
Might want to double check with Cage Match, maybe.
No. We've both imagined that, apparently. That shocked me, but you know, that does appear to be the case. So, Andrew, you have won the round. You are well on your way to a successful title defense. Me and Paul are both left mystified, because we can both picture in our head them having the titles together, but apparently they didn't. So there you go. Next round, which Paul you need to win to stay in the championship contest, is the name on the marquee round, in which I will be giving, and it's going to work as kind of a buzzer round. I will be reading off 3 wrestlers who main evented a certain show. For example, if I were to say Roman Reigns, Edge, and Lawrence Taylor, you would hopefully buzz in and say WrestleMania. Whoever buzzes in first correctly gets the point. There's 3 of these. When I say main event, I don't mean in like the loose WWE term. I mean like the last match on the show. Now it doesn't have to be a singles match. It can be a tag team match in the main event or whatever. It won't be like a TV show. So if there's a Dragon Gate question, the answer isn't going to be like Infinity or anything stupid like that. It's going to be like one of their big shows, for example. Does that all make sense to both of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Now you buzz in by saying your name, and I'll whichever name I hear first, I'll go to, and they'll get first guess. If you get it wrong, then you're not allowed to re-buzz in unless your opponent also has a wrong guess, and then you're both allowed a second try, etc., etc. Okay, so the first 3 names I'm going to be reading out, who all main evented a show, not necessarily in the same year, I should have clarified, but hopefully that got across. Hulk Hogan, Dick Murdoch, and Killer Khan. That's Hulk Hogan, Dick Murdoch, and Killer Khan.
Paul,
Uh-huh.
Great American Bash.
Not the show I'm looking for.
Andrew.
Uh-huh.
I'll give a shout out. Some reason I'm thinking AWA, so the only one I know there is Super Clash. Maybe like the first, I don't know, is that?
That's not the one I'm looking for as well.
Okay.
Does kind of... I'm not sure if Khan was ever in the AWA, but maybe.
Just a thought, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a decent guess. Paul, back to you if you have a second guess.
Guess. Saturday night's main event.
Unfortunately not. We'll just do one more of these before we move on.
Okay, so it's not that. I'm gonna. We did NW. Oh, well, we did WCW because it's Hogan. I'm gonna guess. Not that. Starcade?
Unfortunately not. I'm going to give a clue here, and then you'll both have another chance to buzz in and guess. This show did not take place in the United States of America or Canada.
Oh.
But it has to be a show name.
Uh-huh.
Has a specific name. Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Is it what one of these shows called? The Wrestling and Love Festival. No, that's no.
Unfortunately not, Paul. Andrew,
Shit,
you
what
got
are they
a
called?
you got a chance to go for it now.
Let's see. Isn't that? No. I honestly have no idea. Battlefest or something. I don't know.
Unfortunately not. I'll just take a... Does anyone in the chat have a guess they want to throw out there before I reveal the answer? Lee is typing. Oh, and he stopped typing. Lee is very close. Lee guessed the IWGP Tag League. It was in fact the IWGP League. One of the precursors to the G1. So the IWGP League final, in fact. All 3 men were involved in one of the finals during the 80s.
About that.
Dick Murdoch was a bit of a surprise for me. I wasn't aware of that, but the more you know. Okay, moving on to the next one. The next 3 names that all main evented a certain show: Ben K, K Ness, and Ryo Saito. That's Ben K, K Ness, and Ryo Saito.
Paul,
Uh-huh.
is it Kobe World?
It is not Kobe World.
Andrew,
Go for it.
is it Dead or Alive?
It is not.
Okay.
Back up for grabs for both of you. For a second round of guessing.
I'll say Andrew.
Go for it.
The Gate of Destiny.
Also not. Back to Paul before the clue kicks in. Are you thinking, Paul, or are you not there?
Heard a noise, like a doo-doo-doo, like
Ah.
a disconnect noise.
Let me just check if he's still in the Discord. Oh, he has fallen out. Hello, Paul. Are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you again now. I think you disconnected
Did,
briefly.
did Andrew get it right? Like, it cut
No,
off when he was
no,
giving his
I
answer.
did not. Did not.
Andrew,
Yeah,
did you say Gate of Destiny?
What was Andrew's guess? Sorry, what was Andrew's guess?
Gate of Destiny.
Okay, can I have another go then?
Yep.
Dead or Alive?
Also incorrect. Time for the clue. The clue is this show always takes place in December.
Andrew.
Go for it, Andrew.
The Final Gate.
It is indeed the Final Gate.
All right.
Ben K main evented it recently, and I don't actually remember when the other two main evented it, but that takes Andrew into a 1-0 lead going into the final question for this round.
But were Rio, Saito, or Kane never in the cage?
They may have, to be fair. I didn't actually cross-check that, but I'm not sure. The final one is Jerry Lawler, Mike Enos, and Stan Hansen. That's Jerry Lawler, Mike Enos, and Stan Hansen.
Paul?
Go for it.
Super Clash?
It is indeed AWA Super Clash.
Yes.
We tie things up and keep the game alive heading into the final round. So it could be a hell of a comeback as we move to our signature game, the Silver Ant Special. Those who have watched in the past will be familiar with the rule set, but just for any new viewers, the way this works is I will be revealing clues to a certain mystery wrestler who the two participants have to guess who the wrestler is. The first clue I will give, you will get 3 points if you correctly guess the name. If you get it after 2 clues, you get 2 points, and after all 3 clues, just the solitary 1 point. You're allowed 1 guess at each round. If you buzz in first, you get to guess first, but you have to guess immediately after you've buzzed. And then your opponent has, as long as they want to ponder over, assuming you get it incorrect, until they have a guess. If you both get it wrong, then we move on to our next clue. Does that all make sense for the both of you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the first masked wrestler, who we are going to be unmasking, I debuted in Jim Crockett Promotions, so not necessarily that it was my first match ever, but my first match in Jim Crockett Promotions. I debuted barefaced in 1988, but I ended the decade in the promotion under a mask. So I had my first match in Jim Crockett Promotions barefaced in 1988, but ended the decade in the promotion under a mask.
Andrew.
Fuck, what's his name?
You first, Andrew.
Is it Dusty Rhodes?
Not the name I'm looking for, Andrew. I think he debuted a bit earlier than 1988 in Jim Crockett, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, I missed that part. Right.
It's on the tip of my tongue, and shit, I think I know who it is, but I don't remember his name. I don't remember either of his names there. He was. Can I say the name under the mask?
Yeah, sure.
Bad Street.
Not the name I'm looking for. Okay, we move on to our second clue. This will be for 2 points. I defeated long-term rival Junkyard Dog for the Mid-South North American Championship in 1983?
Paul?
Yep, Paul, go for it.
Butch Reed?
It is indeed Butch Reed. Paul takes 2 points. The final
That's
clue.
right.
The final clue would have been I shared a nickname with Jim Duggan, feuding with him over it at multiple points. He went for a while by Hacksaw Butch Reed, of course. That's 2 points to 0 in this round. Okay, we move on to our next unmasking. I had a trial series in December 2017, losing all 3 of my matches. I had a trial series in December 2017, losing all 3 of my matches.
December 2017.
Andrew.
Go for it, Andrew.
Paul?
Andrew buzzed in first.
Is it Shun Skywalker?
Not the name I'm looking for.
Okay.
Paul, over to you.
Yeah. Is it Yo?
Pardon?
Yo Hikomatsu?
Also not the name I'm looking for. We move on to our second clue. I am a former Open the Triangle Gate champion, teaming with Eta and T-Hawk.
Paul?
Go for it.
UT.
It is indeed UT.
Damn it.
We have ourselves a new champion as Paul goes
Woohoo!
4-0 up
prevails.
in this round. We'll play the last one to see if Andrew can make things close. Maybe earn himself a rematch.
Some pride here. Come on.
The last clue would have been I'm billed at 5'4", but I'd be surprised if I'm really over 5 foot. It's being shouted out in the chat that this belt was really getting hot-shotted around, like WWE in the early 2010s. No long title reigns, unfortunately. And it's at this point I'm realising that I forgot, and I'd planned to, but I'd forgot to make a graphic for Paul winning the belt, so that'll have to wait, unfortunately.
I can send you a photo.
Indeed. Congratulations, Paul. We move on to our final Silver Ant special. The first clue is I have had 7 reigns with the IWGP Tag Team Championships, accruing 10 combined defences. However, I don't currently wrestle for New Japan.
Paul?
Go for it.
Carl Anderson?
Not the name I'm looking for. Not sure if he quite got up to 7, but he'd be somewhere near there.
7. A lot. It's 20th century too, so the 90s or 80s. Somebody won it a lot of times. Chono win it that many times? I know he won it with a bunch with Tenzan. Was it Chono?
Not the name I'm looking for.
Okay.
I think he might have won it 7 times, but he had over 10 defences. There are a few people who'd had 7 reigns.
Okay.
We move on to our second clue for 2 points. I won my first G1 climax by defeating Hiroyoshi Tenzan in 8 minutes and 9 seconds in the final. Quite the sprint. So again, that's I won my first G1 climax by defeating Hiroyoshi Tenzan in 8 minutes and 9 seconds in the final.
Oh.
And doesn't currently wrestle for New Japan.
Damn it. I know this.
Sorry, did you ask a question, Paul? I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, no, sorry, I just wanted to clarify. And that person currently does not wrestle for New Japan.
Correct. They are not currently a part of the New Japan roster.
Okay.
Paul?
Go for it.
I don't think it's correct, but Nakamura?
Not the name I'm looking for.
Is it, was it Kensuke Sasaki? I think it was.
It is indeed the Power Warrior Kensuke Sasaki. The final clue was going to be I was one half of the tag team, the Hellraisers.
Yes, that would have
Yeah.
sealed it.
So Andrew saves some pride, maybe earns himself a future rematch for the title. But we have ourselves a new champion. This graphic is incorrect. This was not the V1 defense of Andrew. This was a new
It is in my
champion.
heart.
Yes.
It's in my heart.
There's a
This
couple.
is like the moment. This is like when like Franklin D. Roosevelt like won re-election and he held up that newspaper of Dewey being
Dewey
elected
wins,
president. So
Yeah. Definitely a reference I knew. Yes, the damn IWGP League final cost it you all, Andrew. You were cruising up to that point, but the title has unfortunately slipped from your grasp.
Well,
I'm
it was
really
a good.
establishing a rep of like coming back like right at the end of the game as well. Since I've done that, like that's how I like got the title shot in the first place, and I did it again now.
Yeah, big ethnic babyface coming through.
Well, it was a good run. All my 0 defenses, but no, this is a lot. It's always a lot of fun to do trivia with you and Robin and whoever I'm doing it with, Paul, anyone. Well, anyone, Liam, like last time. But who knows? Maybe in the future I will come back and claim my title and back to my former glory as the prestigious champion of VOW Quiz Night. But it's a lot of fun regardless. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks as always for coming on, Andrew. Do you have anything you'd like to plug before we kick you off the call brutally?
Yes. Well, yeah, sure. Check out my own podcast, Music of the Mat, which Paul was a recent guest on not too long ago. It's available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Google Podcasts and wherever your favorite podcast is. Pretty much. I got a new episode coming out this Tuesday, but the most recent one came out a little while ago about is the 4th annual Halloween Spooktacular. And since today is Halloween, I figure it's rather appropriate time to do that episode. So yeah, check it out there. I also write for voicesofwrestling.com. Follow me on Twitter at Andrew T. Rich. Follow the show on Twitter at Music of the Mat. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Congrats again, Paul. You're a strong champion. You played smartly. You took out my strengths, and you bested the robot in this occasion. So so good for you.
Thanks for coming on, Andrew. Talk again
Robin.
soon.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Disconnect. And he is out of there. So you no longer have to be so polite to him, Paul. You can absolutely trash him if you feel so inclined. There's no way he's possibly listening at this point.
Yeah. No, I mean, I will just immediately use this opportunity now that I've had like my big baby face win defending humanity and like winning the title. I will now immediately turn heel, and I will just, I don't know. I mean, we're like too far apart, so I can't really hit you with a steel chair, but just imagine that that's what I just did. So I will now be your heel champion, and I will take on any Karmas because they won't have a chance anyway, because I'll just steal the win at the end anyway.
Mm-hmm. You've rigged the questions. You've always seen the last couple, just to pull things away.
It's literally like if they know all the answers, I change the questions.
Yeah, there we go. It's maybe that's what I'm gonna have to start doing if you keep stealing these late wins. But congratulations, Paul. Do you have anything you would like to plug?
Yeah, pretty much just you can find my writing on voiceofwrestling.com. Should have either it's already gone up or it's going up soon. A review of the recent Noah Kirkin show with the good tag title defense. So really kind of probably going to start covering Noah a bit more now because they're on fire right now. And yeah, otherwise still going to continue on kind of covering like Japanese promotions mainly. So find all of that on and more on Voices of Wrestling.
Tremendous. You'll have to send me over a photo so I can poorly Photoshop on a crown. Not even Photoshop, I just stick it on a PowerPoint and put it over the top. As you are our new champion, and we will be finding a new challenger for you in the near future. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Goodbye for now, Paul. See you
Bye-bye.
soon. Okay, so how do do I disconnect from the call? There we go. Yes, if you would like to, if you want to get notified whenever we go live for this show, click the heart below the stream. That makes you follow it, and then you... What's the word? You get notified whenever we go live. Probably 2 weeks from now, we'll be doing something to find the first challenger for Paul. To see if Paul can successfully get a V1 defense under his belt, as only Liam has been able to do so far. Other than that, if you would like to participate in the Trios tournament that we're going to be running at some time in the near future, you can do so. I have somewhere around here, I have where is it? Where's the... Oh, close the Discord now. There we go. Somewhere around here, I have a link for you to sign up for the Trios tournament. Even if you're watching this on demand on the YouTube, I encourage you to sign up. We'll be flexible with the timings to make it work for you. If you don't have a full team, that's fine. You can still sign up as a solo. And then you have the ability... I'll like join you up with other solo registration registrars, people who are registering. It's got to be a word for that. Registries? Who knows? Definitely not me. Yeah, I've put a link to that in the Discord. I'll just put it in the Twitch chat as well now, in case you're watching there. It'll also be tweeted out from my Twitter, which is at VOW... No, it's at The Wrestling Quiz. There, it's shown. You can follow me there for all updates of when we're going live and all other things like that. Yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and go, if you're American and you haven't already, vote for Joe Biden, for many, many different reasons, not least because my household currently has 6 figures bet on him winning. But there's many more important reasons for you to vote for him than that, but, you know, that too. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching as always. If you have any questions, as usual, I will always happy to answer them either on Twitter or in the Discord, which I will be hanging out for the foreseeable future now. Bye everyone, and probably see you again in 2 weeks for this show. Probably. Updates will be posted on Twitter, etc. Bye.